We like our freedom back. We've been suffering for the last 2 years because of Trudeau government, and the whole country has become just like Cuba. So we would like to have our freedom back. They keep telling us we're violating the law. The government violated the law to begin with for introducing the mandate.
Convoys for freedom haven't just been happening in Ottawa, they've been happening across the country, and that includes in the province of British Columbia. Around 2 weeks ago, pro-freedom protesters who are calling for the end of COVID-19 mandates started to gather at the Pacific Highway border crossing between Surrey, BC and Washington State. By the time this last Saturday hit, that turned into a blockade of sorts. But is the legacy media showing you how that actually unfolded and why? I'm Drea Humphrey here with Rebel News, and I had my boots on the ground at what started as a peaceful protest, transitioned into police preventing a convoy from passing through, and then protesters, some of them a small proportion, starting a blockade as well. It also led to arrests. Over 16 people in British Columbia were arrested on the Sunday and Monday that followed the initial blockade. I'm going to show you the events that took place prior and up to those arrests. And you're also going to hear from 2 people who were arrested. But this is going to be broken down into a few parts so that you can get the full picture and the other side of the story to legacy media. If you appreciate the reports that we do and the fact that we always fight to bring you the other side of the story, especially and continuously with these convoy reports that have resulted or been used as a reason for the Trudeau government to enact the Emergencies Act, giving them sweeping powers over all Canadians. If you appreciate that we bring you that, make sure you head to convoyreports.com regularly to stay up to date with what's actually occurring at these protests, at these convoys, and more. And you can also donate to help support our independent journalism. We do not take a penny from the government like over 90% of the news in Canada, and that's why we rely on you and your support. So again, if you appreciate the work we do, you can donate at convoyreports.com, and you can also stay informed there. All right, you're here holding this huge flag. Tell us how you've been affected by the mandates.
I'm a fired healthcare worker. I'm a fired nurse. And I'm actually proud to say that because I had to get fired to stand up to do what's right. And it's not easy, but you have to do what's right in your heart.
That's a good message. I think a lot of people are facing a moral dilemma right now when they're in different positions. I know the police here, they're here keeping the peace, but some of them off camera were like, yay, it's good to see you. What do you think about sort of the extreme force that's being used, like a state of emergency being called in Ottawa and Ontario against the freedom truckers over there?
I think if we all sat down and we're grown up, we could sort this out. We're all about peace and freedom and love, and that's it. That's our message.
And I got to ask you, since you're a healthcare worker, what do you think about seeing some provinces start to remove COVID-19 mandates, and then here in British Columbia, Bonnie Henry says now the private health sector needs to be double vaccinated to work as well?
Well, of course I don't agree. I lost my job, but I will say this, we're all grown up. We take responsibility over our actions, and it's time for everyone to understand that we are in charge of our own body. If you want to take the vaccine, take the vaccine. If you don't want to take the vaccine, don't take the vaccine. We're okay, and we're actually going to be fine. We're going to be better because of this and stronger.
We have the media eyes on us, and they want to portray us as racists. As a fringe minority with unacceptable views. As violent as Nazi sympathizers. When I look at this crowd today, I see people of many mixed races. And I'm a First Nation lady, and I've been standing out here for 21 months, and I'm not going anywhere. Neither should you.
What brought you to this protest today?
I am from Peru, and we live something similar over there, where the government bought the whole media. They bought the owners, and they give a lot of dollars to them in 1990. So I knew this is happening in Canada again. It smelled the same corruption. It's just the same. I knew it in the beginning. Shame on CBC, shame on Global News, shame on CTV News, shame on them. But you know what? In Canada, we are so peaceful, extremely peaceful. I can't believe it. And the government is just throwing many lies here, many lies. I think, yes, it's a corrupted government, incredible corrupted for this society. Unbelievable, it's unbelievable.
We like our freedom back. We've been suffering for the last 2 years because of Trudeau government, and the whole country has become just like Cuba. So we would like to have our freedom back. They keep telling us we're violating the law. The government violated the law to begin with for introducing the mandate. The mandate is not a law. It shouldn't be no compliance to it, and we would like to have our freedom back. The government is corrupt. They should be talking to the people. They keep painting everybody with one paintbrush, what is completely out of line. There are people there, they want freedom, and they see it from the beginning. This is we're here to relieve all the mandate. But the media, the stream media, they corrode with the government, and they bloody twist everything around. We do have a friend in Ottawa who live there and very happy with the protester. But the extreme media, they polarize things, they're in bed with government, they become government lawyers.
Welcome, guys. Go Canada, go!
Tell us about what you're here for.
So I'm in charge of all the medical care and first aid, so I'm heading that.
Are you expecting to take care of damage from any terrorist attacks going on, or?
I mean, we always want to be proactive. We're not expecting anything like that. We're not expecting violence. We're not expecting fighting. We're not expecting attacks. We just want to be proactive.
All right, I think that's pretty cool. They got someone out here for safety. Can I ask you how you personally may or may not have been affected by COVID-19 mandates?
Yeah, I was a registered nurse. I am a registered nurse, and I lost my job because of the mandates. I have a new job. I lost the new job. And so I'm just out here fighting for freedom.
What do you think about the fact that while some provinces are getting rid of mandates, we have Provincial Health Officer Dr. Bonnie Henry actually implementing more, this time on our private health sector?
I think it shows a real lack of understanding of consent. I mean, I would expect for somebody in the healthcare field to have a better understanding of how important it is to give informed consent. You know, as nurses, it's really drilled into us that if you coerce somebody into taking a vaccine or a medication, then they can't give consent. And I would expect better out of our leadership in this province.
Hi, James. Thank you for your service. How have you been affected by these mandates, if any way?
So I transferred from the regular army to the reserves in 2019. I sought employment with the public service, working for the RCMP. So as a public servant, I've been placed on leave without pay as of the 15th of November. And then I was notified afterwards that I would be administratively released from the armed forces on what's called a 5F. So a 5F is, I can't remember the exact wording, but it's basically failure to correct certain behaviors. And the behaviors that I exhibited were failure to follow Chief of Defense Staff directed on vaccines. So I'm going to say this right here, right now. I do not propose any theories about what is in the vaccine or what is not in the vaccine. My position is that I disagree with the government imposing this type of mandate on us. I do not believe that they have the right to dictate to anybody how to be healthy.
Absolutely. Now, what do you think about Ottawa and Ontario enacting a state of emergency over the Freedom Truckers?
So that's one of the reasons why I came down here. I'm very concerned about it. I'm very concerned about the implications of force being used against a group of people who have chosen to make their voices heard. I'm here because of them. I have everything that I own because of working people. I served in the military, not really knowing what I was doing or why I was doing it until recently, until a group of people decided to stand up and make their voices heard and were ignored.
How much more are we going to take? Are we going to do this for the next 10 years? Vaccinate, vaccinate. Just show us some truth. Let us be, whoever wants to get vaccinated, go get vaccinated. Whoever doesn't, they shouldn't have to be forced. They shouldn't have to be forced not to go where they want. It's horrible how two of my kids can go to the movies and this one can't.
So you're at the end of your rope.
I'm at the end. I want my family back. I want everybody to be happy with each other. I'm so tired of this. It hurts. It hurts my heart. And I've never been prouder to be a Canadian than I am right now. I have never felt such happiness in all my life for the last 2 years. And that's all I want to say.
At least, show both sides of the story. I think it's going to be a win for you, and it's going to be a win for Canada.
Oh, I agree. Yeah, I agree. But you felt, have you encountered anybody in what you've seen who's made you feel singled out because of your ancestry? Have you detected any of that at all?
You mean in the pro-freedom movement?
Yeah.
No, they love me, right? Like they hug me, they kiss me, they love us. They love us because we tell the other side of the story to the legacy media.
What did you think?
All right, August, you got a sign here. It says, end the mandates. Tell us why.
We need to end these mandates. Listen up, people. I am a proud Iranian Canadian. My parents left Iran, left everything they knew what they were about to get into when they came into Canada. They were engineers back home, okay? Came here, nothing mattered, no credentials. My dad worked at a pizza shop just so we can make ends meet, okay? They knew what they had to go through. Why did they do all of this? They did this so I could experience freedom. My parents did not leave Iran for me to experience freedom, for us to just let slide right now. Do you know what I mean? That's what I'm saying.
What's the latest you've heard about the convoy that was supposed to come here?
The latest I heard, well, they blocked us from coming down here. We've been here all week. And I guess they were monitoring and figuring out how many people were going to come. And then when it got as big as it did, they blocked us as far as you can see back at 8th Ave. And they won't let any of the convoy come in here where we thought we were going to try and get to. But it hasn't stopped people. People are still walking through. The police have been pretty cooperative with us. And everything's been really good. It's just a good vibe. It's humble, and it's just comforting that you're not alone.
All right, what are you walking around with a gas?
Hi, I just wanted to show support for all the truckers that are in the convoy, and I wanted to show my appreciation for them.
This is Odessa from Liberty Talk. Now, Odessa, you're coming from what we're hearing is a few cars actually trying to block things. What did you see when you were down there?
So I want to make this clear because you know how the mainstream news will twist it. What happened was, before the majority of the convoy got here, obviously the police were tipped off. It's not, so they decided to block right here because you can't, as a convoy, you can't actually block the border there. Mm-hmm. They're blocking it here, though.
Right.
And the convoy, it's truckers, they're organizing what they're doing. So when the announcement was made to all the peaceful Freedom Canadian families, let's move the tents, which is water, toys for the kids, food, so everything that you'd need to make people comfortable. All the tents were being packed up to move them up here. And there was a guy, one of the people that was standing there, like a family man, he goes, "Oh my God, I just saw this guy, he had bagpipe music on a ghetto blaster, and he was having a powwow with the police around the corner. All of a sudden, because he saw it, he came down and started screaming at all of us, 'Don't pack up your tents. You guys we're here to block the border.'" And everyone's like, "Huh?" And he was like calling us names, fingering us. Sorry, you're gonna have to bleep that out, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
More editing for you guys. And everyone got confused and they were actually acting crazy. And all of a sudden, he pulled up a truck, another guy pulled up a truck, and like 6 people actually blocked the border.
Wow.
But everything that the truckers planned for today was not to do that.
Yeah. It was a slow roll.
It was
right?
a slow roll. So they want everyone to know that whatever happens there is a plant, because the guy was literally talking to the RCMP and came around and did that. Why are all the RCMP here? They knew what he was going to do. They watched and they're letting it happen. So
that's
we're
a good
pretty
question.
sure this hatred vibe they had, we're pretty sure they're plants. And the people down there are swearing and screaming at everybody else. So we're just staying up here. Whatever happens down there, we're pretty sure is a Liberal plant and an RCMP plant to instigate, to make all of us look like people we're not.
All right, well, we're going to go see what we can find out from the people who are doing the blocking, but you can see the majority of the protesters are behind us. So whatever is happening there is a small fringe minority. No, small minority. You guys... It's quite loud here. I'm not sure what started the altercation, but it does look as though some of the protesters are blocking a police vehicle from moving. Social credit, social credit.
You want me to...
When you do something that's wrong, don't do this. Don't put that in front of me.
You'll go to jail.
Take that, you'll go to jail putting that in front of my face. Go away.
Don't assault a revenues reporter. You're going to learn the hard way.
Thank you. Thank you. Freedom. Thank you.
Miss Humphreys, how are you doing?
All right, so we've just arrived about a kilometer down, where you can see there's a handful of cars actually blocking. Apparently that is not what the organizers intended to happen. So I'm feeling a whole nother story here. We're gonna end this report, sorry to do that to you, and we're gonna have part 2 coming up shortly. So make sure you've gone to rebelnews.com and given us your email so you don't miss what's about to happen now. If you appreciate that we bring you the other side of the story, and we've had our boots on the ground across Canada giving you fact-based reports on the convoys, please consider supporting our journalism at convoyreports.com. All donations there help us to continue to bring you reports like this, and you of course will get updated regularly on what's really happening at these convoys.